Hello everyone, welcome to the next session in the framework design series. So in this session we will see how we can implement this field on the page test. Using this test case we will verify all the fields on a particular page in the Amazon app. Okay, so we just need to add these two statements in the test case and that will assert all the fields on particular page. So for that purpose, first step is to create one Excel in which we will create multiple sheets for separate pages in the Amazon app. For example, on the registration page, we have these different fields: your name, mobile number, password, verify mobile number button, create free business account, okay, sign in. So we are going to store all these field names in this Excel sheet. Okay, like this you can store. So before you start asserting the different fields on the registration page, we need to go to the registration page first. So this is the statement we have added in the previous session. Okay, so I have added one more method here. Okay, one more step. Let me show you why we added that. So if we go to the Amazon home page, we will mouse over on that and we will click start here. So sometimes it is opening the registration page directly or sometimes it is showing this page. Okay, so we need to handle this in our automation. We don't know when the registration page will be opened directly. So first we need to determine whether we are actually on the registration page or not. So how we can do that? We will verify whether this element is available or not. If this element is available, that means you are not on the registration page. So we need to enter some dummy email ID. Then we need to click on continue. Then we need to click on this proceed to create an account. And now we are on the registration page. So these things we need to add in our automation. And from the home page, if we directly come to the registration page, then we don't need to perform those steps. So this is the method I have written in the sign in page. Okay, so let's go to that method. So here what I am doing, here I am going to wait for visibility of that sign in or create account element. Let me show you. Here first we will wait for this element visibility. Once it is visible, we will check if wait.getElementPresentState is equal to true or not. That means whether this element is available or not on the web page. So if it is available, then this method will return true. If it is not available, this method will return false. Okay, so this method is available in our custom wait class. Let's go to that method. Okay, so this is the getter setter we have added for the element state. So we are using this method to wait for visibility of element. So in the try, we will wait for visibility. If element is not available, it will go to the catch block. So here we are calling this set element state method and we are sending false from here. Okay, so it will set element state is equal to false. Okay, so every time when element is not available, using this method it will go to the catch block and it will save the element state is equal to false. So value for this element state we need to get using this getElementPresentState method. Okay, so this will simply return the value of this element state variable. So that is we are getting over here. So if this getElementPresentState is true, that means element is available. Okay, this element is available. That means you are not on the registration page yet. We need to perform these steps. So this if block will comes into picture. So in case when registration page opens directly, this method will return false. Because sign in or create account, this element will not be available that time. So this if block will not be executed and we will directly execute the next statements. So this is how I have added the logic. So these are the three steps we need to do in this if block. Get email input box and enter this dummy email ID. Then click on continue button. Then get the proceed to create account button and then perform the click action. So at the end of this method execution, we are on the proper registration page. Okay, we should be on the proper registration page after this. So this we have added in the before method. So before starting, let's say this method, this will execute these two statements. One is to open the registration page and check whether user is on the correct registration page or not. So these are the steps we need to add. So this is happening due to just Amazon have changed their flow. So sometimes it is opening the registration page directly, sometimes it is not. So this is how we can try to handle that. So now let's start the actual implementation for this test case. So first step, we have created one Excel, right? So this Excel contains multiple sheets for every web page on the Amazon app. And every sheet will contain the field names that we want to assert. So this Excel we need to store at our framework level. So that I have stored under the test data. Under the SRC test resources, I have created test data folder. In that you can store this Excel. So this Excel name we have stored under the config.properties file. Okay, fields verification Excel. This is our Excel name. So from this config.properties file, we will read the Excel name in our base test. So after the first step, our second step is to read the data from that Excel. So for that purpose, I have created this ExcelReader class under the com.amazon.test data readers package. Okay, so this is the method we are going to use to read the data from the Excel. And as argument, I will send the sheet name from which I want the data. So for now, I am sending the registration page. For the registration page, I need to read the data from this sheet, registration page, right? So that name you need to send from here. So let's see how I implemented this. Let me open it. So in the constructor of this ExcelReader class, we will create the file path. So when we create the object for this ExcelReader class, from there we will send the Excel path that we want to read. So this will simply assign that path to the this.filePath variable in this class. So in the getFieldNamesFromExcel, we will get the sheet name, right? We will get the registration page here. So we are going to store all the field names in the form of list. So that's why I have created this one, ArrayList object. So this is the common code to read the data from the Excel. You need to create the file info stream and send the file path. Then create the XSF workbook. Then from this workbook, create the sheet. So once you get the sheet, first we need to find how many rows have the data. For example, in the registration page, only 8 rows have the data, right? We don't want to read the 9th one. So that you can do with the help of this getPhysicalNumberOfRows method. So using this for loop, we will start from the first row because at the 0th row, we have this field name. So that we don't want to assert. And in Java code, Excel row will start from the 0th index. Okay, so this is the 0th row. So we need to start from the first row. So start from the first row until the last row, whatever we got here. Then fieldnames.add. So this is our list.add. Add method is used to add the data in the list. And this is the data we want to store in that list. So this will give sheet.getRow. So row is 1. So for the first row is 1. Get a cell. So our cell is 0, right? Every field is available in the 0th column. So whatever string value for that cell, that will be written and that will be stored in our field names array list. So this for loop will be executed until the last row which has the data, and at the end we will close the workbook and file info stream. So as we are dealing with the external file, we need to use the try catch block. In the try you can add this code, and in the catch block we will add in case if file is not available or file is corrupted, then it will show the corresponding exceptions. So at the end of this for loop, how many fields we will get in this field names array list? These are the fields. So these are total around 7 field names. So all those field names will be written from here and those will be cached over here. Okay, so this field names list reference will have all the field names from the registration page sheet. Okay, so once we have all the fields that we want to assert, with the help of verify presence of elements on the page method, we will assert all the fields in a single statement. So now let's see how we can do that. So we need to create object for ExcelReader class first. So we need to create that in the base test. Let me show you that. In the base test, we are going to create the object. So first we need to create the reference, public ExcelReader. This is our reference name. Okay. New ExcelReader, and from here we are going to send the Excel path. So this will be the static ./src test resources test data, right? So we may have multiple Excel. That's why we have created the config.properties key for storing the Excel name. Okay, so we have already created one Java class to read the config.properties file. So with the help of this config reader object, we can call this method. So this method will return the prop.getProperty, whatever the value for this property in the config.properties file. That means we will get this value. Okay, so once this is executed, this path will be given to the constructor of this ExcelReader class. Okay, so whatever file path we will get, that will be set here and that will be reused in our getFieldNamesFromExcel code. So we got all the names of the field that we want to assert in this field names list. So complete list we are going to send to this method. So let's see how we can implement this. So in this method, in the field names, we got these 7 data, like 7 field names. So we will use this for loop to assert the field names one by one. Okay, so let's say we will start from the first field. So first field is your name. Okay, let's start with the your name. So for the username field, we need to get the corresponding web element first. Okay, so how we can do that? You can use this getElementByFieldName method. Okay, let's go to that method. So this is simply a switch case statements. So this method we will call, and we will send the field name for which I want the web element. So first in the switch we are converting it into the lower case. Okay, so your name will be converted into the small your name, and we have separate case for every field. So this is the case first, your name, and it will simply get the your name web element. So this is the getter method to get the your name web element, right? That we have already seen. So your name web element we are going to assign to this web element reference. So for every field we have to create a separate case. So for your name, then mobile number, we have password, then verify mobile number button, create business account, sign in link, then already have an account. So whatever fields I have added in the Excel, so in the Excel we have these 7 fields. Okay, so for all these 7 fields I need to create the case statements in the switch. Okay, so depending upon our field name, it will return the corresponding web element from here. So when you send a correct field name from the Excel and you have a separate case for that field name as well, then this will return the proper element from here. So under this switch case, if you don't find a matching case for that field, it will go to the default case, right? This is our default case, and here we are throwing illegal argument exception. That means you have sent a invalid field name for which we don't have the case. Okay, for example, you send the your name 1. Okay, like this you send the field name your name 1. So we don't have a matching case for your name 1, right? So it will go to the default case. So this exception will be thrown, this will be catched in this catch block, and we will simply print the message whatever we have given here. So our web element is equal to null, it will remain null. So that we are checking here. If element is equal to null, then we will print here element is null. So please make sure you have added corresponding web element case, okay, web element case for this field, whatever field name. Okay, so if you are sending your name 1, you should have a case with your name 1. So this result, this method is going to return true when all the fields are available. Means when you are checking for all the fields on the registration page, and when all the fields are available, then only this result will remain true, right? By default value for this result is true. Otherwise, in case it comes into this if block, we are sending result is equal to false. So with the help of this continue, we will go to the next field for verification. So when we send a proper field name, and for field name also we have a separate case, then we will get that web element value over here. So this element is not equal to null, so it will go to here. So here we are checking the getElementPresentState, whether it is available or not. So with the help of isDisplayed method, we are just checking whether it is available or not on the UI. So if it is true, then we will print this field name is present on the page, else field name is not present on the page. So every time this goes to the else block, we are increasing this counter. So counter starts from 0, and every time this field is not available on the page, we are going to increase the counter. So using this value, we have used this if condition. If this count doesn't remain 0, that means there are some fields which are missing on the UI. So we will make result is equal to false, and same value we will return. So that value we will get into the registration page test. So here we have used the Assert.assertTrue. So this will accept the true only. When we get the false over here, then we will print this statement. Some elements are not present on the registration page. So when we get true over here, when all the fields are available on the registration page. So whatever fields that we have in the Excel, okay, when all these fields are available, then this code will be executed, right? This if condition. So at the end, our result will remain true, and that true will be returned to our registration page test. So that time this test case will pass. So let me add the debug point, and we will run this method in debug mode. So here I have added the debug point. So here we should get the all the fields from the registration page sheet from that Excel. So this time we landed on the registration page directly. So whatever steps we have given in the setup correct registration page test, okay, this method will not be executed. Okay, so currently this field name is empty, so I will click next. So here in the field names you can see we got all the field names from the registration page sheet. So let's step into this assertion. So we'll get all the field names in this list. Click next. Okay, now we will get the first field, that is your name. So we are checking if your name is available or not on the UI. So we will be calling this getElementByFieldName now. For the your name field we need a corresponding web element first. So let's step into again. So this method will be called. So currently element is equal to null. Click next. So we have this your name that will be converted into the lowercase now. Okay, so we got the matching case for your name. That's why it comes under this case. So using this getter method, we are going to wait the visibility of that your name web element first. Click next. Okay, that is available, right? This your name is available. So we'll assign your name is equal to this element. Click next. So this element will become our web element for the your name. Now here we have the break statement. So that will return the element directly now. Click next. So in the element we got the element for our your name web element. So element is not null, right? So it will go to the next if block. So here getElementPresentState. So that should be true, right? Element is present on the UI. Click next. Yes, isDisplayed will return the true, right? And we will display this statement. Field name, your name is present on the page. So it will not go into this else block now. Click next. Again, now we get the second field name now. That is mobile number. So same, it will get the web element for the mobile number first. Right, we got that here. Click next. Click next. Okay, mobile number should be there. Right. So mobile number is present on the page. I will just click on the resume. So here you will see default test run 1, failure 0, right? And we got the passes 1. So all the statements are printed in the console. So you need to make sure whatever fields you are verifying from this Excel, you need to add a separate case for that field. Let's say I am making here your name 1. So this field is not available on the UI, right? So I'm going to run this in debug mode again. Okay, so this time it did not landed on the registration page directly. Whatever steps we have given in this got executed, and that's why we are now on the registration page. Click next. So here we got the your name 1, right? And all other fields. Step into next. Click next. So here we are checking now your name 1. Step into. So this field name your name 1, we don't have a matching case over here, so it should go to the default case. Click next. Right, it comes under the default case and it will throw illegal argument exception. Click next. So that will be cached in the cache block, and this statement we will print invalid field name, whatever field name we have given. Okay, here you can see invalid field name your name 1. So for this field we don't have matching case, so we can't return a web element for that. So element whatever value we have here, that is null, that will be written. So here you can see we got the null. Okay, element is null, so make sure you have added corresponding web element case for this field. Okay, your name 1. So currently result is true, we are assigning false to result, right? So overall result for this test case will be false even if we got all other fields available on the UI. So due to continue, it will again go to the next field now. So if you check the final result, we got the failed result, assertion fail. Some of the elements are not present on the registration page. Okay, so this assertion got failed as we got the false here.